Welcome to Closer to Venus. I'm Johnny Burke, and today's guest is Helen Plehn. She is an aura intuitive, angel channeler, Vedic astrologer, and author of the Aura Color Wheel. She also offers spirit message readings to clients and paints the visions to relay messages from their spirit team. In this episode, we'll discuss a soul discovery system that can help us find our soul's purpose. Helen, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Johnny.
So the Aura Color Wheel, I can't help but notice that kind of sounds like a band name. Are you a musician by chance?
I'm an artist, so I'm a painter and I'm a flamenco dancer.
Okay, you're definitely a right brain person. Okay, good. So how did you discover or create the Aura Color Wheel? How'd that happen?
Yeah, I would say that first it's a deep self-discovery and self-healing journey, because without that, it's really hard for me to actually discover this wisdom. So in 2011, I was a left-brain person, forced to be from society, all the way going to my PhD program without knowing what I really want in life. And then I hit a rock bottom. I call it my spiritual wake-up call, that I suffer from anxiety and depression to the point that I went to ER for a visit. That was 2011. So I got this wake-up call, went on a really deep healing and self-discovery journey to answer 3 fundamental questions about myself. Who am I? Why am I here? How can I truly be happy? And that led me on to learn a lot of spiritual wisdoms, including yoga, meditation. 7 years down the road, in 2018, after 7 years of daily meditation, I had a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. That's when I begin to channel spirit realm wisdom. And this particular system, the Aura Color Wheel, came through me from 4 very distinctive, you call it mystical experiences or channeling experiences. The first one is a spirit guide shows my vision named Herbert Spencer. And I had to look him up afterwards on Google. Who is this guy? He's a 19th century philosopher using Charles Darwin's human evolution theory onto society and psychology. And he told me that I'm going to write a book about soul evolution. I was fascinating. I'm like, wow, okay, what is this?
Now, this was channeled, right?
Correct.
What you're saying is that you are channeling someone who is no longer on this earth. Am I right?
Correct. That's right. Yeah. He was a 19th century philosopher, a British philosopher. So to me, it's like almost like a past life regression. I remember a lifetime that I was there with him, if you want to know what I say. But he was the first messenger of this system, like prompting me that I'm going to channel this system. So the whole system, I would say that it's like a piece by piece information that was delivered. It's not like in one time I'm having a full picture of a self-discovery system. So that was the first experience. And the second experience is a vision of the Dendera temple in Hathor in Egypt. Now, I've never been there personally, but I saw that vision. I'm clairvoyant, so I saw that vision very vividly because I'm a painter, so I drew it out even. So it's the original cosmic map or the Zodiac map by the ancient Egyptians. So on there were 36 deacons. They call it deacons. It's the ancient term for spirit. So that's the 36 zodiac, original zodiac of the Dendera calendar, where the 36 soul aura color comes from, the system. So that was the second channeling experience.
The first channeling experience. Now, this gentleman's name, say his name once more.
Yes, Herbert Spencer.
Now, you alluded to something that was similar to a past life regression, but you were actually communicating with him, interacting with him. So was it a past life recall where you can actually step into that time, or were you just channeling him across time? Which was it?
I think it's both, because I had past life in that time period around that time. And at the same time, I was also communicating with him in the current timeline. So they are like, it's kind of intertwined because I know that I have many, many past lives in the UK. That's a more familiar land to me rather than where I was born this lifetime. That's why I speak English when I was a child, which sounds astonishing for a kid was born and raised in China. So that's no. But for me, I just am very familiar with the United Kingdom, the land like Scotland, Ireland, UK. It's kind of like both that I have past life experience there. And at the same time that he came in as a messenger telling me that I'm going to channel a book about soul evolution.
Now, the Zodiac that you referred to, that would explain your interest in Vedic astrology, right?
That's right. Yeah.
How does the Vedic astrology figure into your workflow with the aura color wheel? I imagine they're related.
Not exactly. So the aura color wheel is on its own. It's a dynamic soul discovery system. I would say that it's similar to any spiritual wisdom that trying to find out about your soul's purpose. Of course, Vedic astrology, Western astrology, as well as human design, genie keys, one of those systems. And I've studied all of them during those 7 years of my self-healing and awakening journey. Let me put it that way. So I study all spiritual wisdoms, numerology, genie kingdogram, human design. If there is a system out there, I learn it. I also offer like a synthesized reading to my students and clients. So because of this deep knowledge of learning or self-discovery system. So that also led to this vision of me when I'm meditating. I see the Dendera calendar and I realize that the modern 12 zodiac sign is simplified for the modern Gregorian calendar, not necessarily where it was originally formed. So that was the 36 soul aura color in this particular color wheel.
So it comes from the Zodiac then, right?
Correct. The original Zodiac where how the Egyptians is marking the star. And they do it by lunar cycles. If their new year is actually in the summer, it's not I call it the man-made Gregorian calendar for convenience purposes that we mark every year 365 days, but not necessarily in those traditional times. So that's also the main difference between Vedic astrology and Western astrology, because Vedic astrology is really looking at the actual star system on the right now at this particular moment, where the Western astrology calendar looking at the basically Gregorian calendar, the calendar that we are familiar with, but not actually the exact time. So there is a difference, a subtle difference. But because there were so many, like 2,000, 3,000 years past, so that the impact right now is more significant than at the beginning, because there wasn't a huge difference at the time.
The spirit messages or the spirit message readings that you give, so they are definitely tied into the Zodiac. And depending on the Zodiac sign that person is under, does that help inform your readings or not necessarily?
That zodiac sign is more tied to the God's cosmic blueprint reading that I mentioned about the different spiritual wisdom. I synthesize it and offer a soul purpose reading for a soul. And spirit message reading is basically I tune into the quantum field and I can see who are your current spirit guides. There were 9 different type of spirit guides that I mentioned in the Oracle Wheel book. And depending on your soul's past lives and this life's mission, your spirit team can compose with star beings, ascended masters, archangels. Although we all have a guardian angel, but depending on our soul's mission, the composition can be a little bit different. So for some healers, they have animals, plant spirit, fairy realms. For people who are more teachers, they have more ascended masters behind them. And some have more angels and ET, you would say, like star beings, if they are coming from the other planet. So it's almost like I relay message to the soul. Okay, so here are your guys, and here are the souls who want to speak to you. And that's the spirit message reading. Now, the difference between spirit message reading and a mediumship reading is that I don't just read people who pass in your mother or father lineage, basically with your born family. They sometimes do come through, but it depending on your soul's mission. Some are our spirit guides, some are not. If that particular soul has a lot of lessons and wounds that they need to heal, they might need to incarnate to another cycle rather fast instead of being in the spirit realm and guiding you through a longer period of time.
What your spirit message readings seem to be, it's really more channeling than mediumship.
Correct.
When did you first notice that you were clairvoyant?
So basically after that Kundalini awakening. Now, I think that was like a clear knowing, like immediately I know that was clairvoyance. However, I think I've been clairvoyant for a long, long time because I have paintings. Before I paint them, I know what I'm going to paint, or movies in my mind. But at the time, I don't quite have a name for it. I thought that was just my imagination because I wasn't familiar with the spirit realm because I did not grow up spiritual or religious. So I don't have the language to describe it, but I often use that in my creative projects, right? Like in my paintings, in my creations. And then after the Kundalini awakening, I can really understand that, oh my gosh, that's a psychic ability. What I'm seeing, it's not just imagination. It's vision of energy and spirit realms, and I can talk to them. And that's also how it led to the vision of the aura color wheel system. The last channel experiences is that it literally has a 12 color wheel, 12 color of a color wheel with 36. So each color has 3 tints of it, like circling around, where a soul give aura color or the aura layer that's stronger coming forth, like throbbing, vibrating, more vibrant. I can see them very vividly. But if a soul has a particular wound or particular lesson, that particular aura layer color is dimmer. It's like dim, it's gray, like a cloud, clouding them, and it's around their heart chakra. And that's when I know that, okay, that's definitely reading energy. And I see it through my third eye, not my physical eye. I see actually more vividly with my physical eyes closed, so that I know that it's clairvoyant because it's not like physical vision that I'm seeing the colors.
Since you've had experiences channeling different types of beings, what are some of the most important or impactful communications that you've had with them?
There are a few, but immediately came to my mind is definitely my connection with the Pleiadians, because I was one of them. As I'm talking about it, my full body has chill sensations. Whenever I have this, I know that it's a truth that I'm speaking. My first experience with the ETs or the star beings, it's in a vision, I see a crab. I know it sounds very weird. It's literally a crab walking on a very rocky planet, radiating turquoise ray of light, really vibrant turquoise. So as a painter, I call it automatic painting instead of automatic writing. So I painted out exactly what I see. Because the intention when I went into that meditation is to connect with my star family or my star origin. And that's what I see. There was one time I even image Google. I scanned my painting in the computer. I image Google it. And then a picture, an image from NASA came in immediately in my vision. It's a turquoise planet called the Crab Nebula. I cannot just make this up. Oh my gosh. My whole body had that.
You can't make that up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what the?
Crab Nebula also sounds like a band name. As a matter of fact, I think it is a band name.
Really?
Crab Nebula? No, I'm joking.
You must be into music. You're like another band name.
The ET phenomenon. What are some of the most important messages or just lessons that you've learned from them? And the spirit guides as well.
So for the collective in general, I think we're moving from the age of Pisces to Aquarius. That's something that's really, really big. And the main message collectively from the guys always about from believing in truth to embodying truth. That's the big difference. So in the age of Pisces, it's about surrendering and collectively believing that there is a truth out there that we are all seeking and we're walking towards. And for the age of Aquarius, It's more about we actually directly experience that truth and we directly embodying that truth. So rather than believing something that's external, that's outside of us, right now in our DNA, in our dormant DNAs, our cellular memories, it's to upgrade that we can actually reawaken that is also within us. So basically, it's like you are also God. God is within you. There is no separation. So it's not like you need to believe God is out there. You need to embody God consciousness. Now, I'm talking about it not from a religious standpoint or any dogma standpoint, because I did not grow up in spiritual settings. I respect all religion, but at the same time, that's the collective information about truly embodying that light within you, that you are not just this physical body and you have it inside of you. And just like that vision of that Big Bang, when everything like zero sum point, when the universe just started, it's all a stardust. And when you have the Big Bang, and then we all have that stardust inside of us. It's almost like we're going back to remember that's in us, and we can actually have the direct experience of it. So that's the biggest message in general, that it's a kind of awakening individual souls to almost walk that path to fulfill their mission.
Now, you've had a lot of experience, spirit guides, archangels, ETs, and so forth. Other than what you just told me, which is very significant, what are some other highlights of your experience and your journey once you had the Kundalini awakening?
Yeah, I think this system that's channeled through, just like you said, it's to help people, like including myself, because I'm walking this path now. I call myself a real practitioner. It's because it's about embodying your soul's gifts. Instead of that imposter syndrome, it's also very practical, down to earth guy. So instead of, am I good enough to be an artist? Because I'm born one, by the way. And if you forget about it, this is asking you to remember it. So you are going to be of service using this knowledge this way. And then, because now I'm very conscious where my soul wound aura layer and where my soul lessons are, I can now consciously choose a different path instead of going back to that hamster wheel, that automatic pattern that I've been before. I now can choose a different action so that I can evolve my soul. So I would say that besides the Kundalini awakening is where I would say that my psychic ability is not awakened till now. I can actually communicate with spirit. The second thing is about knowing oneself. It's about how deeply that you know that you're connected with the source and how you can walk this path to being embody your soul's purpose. And that's exactly what I'm here to help others to do the same. Because when you're doing it, you are in very natural flow with how you were born to be. There is actually less suffering, less resistance. To me, it's the optimal freedom and liberation. That's like the optimal thing that humans are all seeking. Freedom and liberation. You're not like forced to work a job that you don't like, right? You're not forced to stuck in negative, toxic relationships anymore. You have better relationships with yourself, and the outside world actually mirror back to you. And things you become a magnetic field to magnetize the right people, opportunities, and synchronicities in your life rather than chasing. So all these opportunities, like writing a book with Hay House, manifesting my business, completely financial freedom, all of these come from me walking this path. Like I did not hire 10 book agents and write 20 different proposals. It's a very different way of navigating life's journey with the system that we learn from our school. From school, how you be successful, you need to grind, work. And this path, it's about just how you become authentically you and then be of service, like completely to be of service, become a channel of service and abundance, love, anything that you seek, health, it's going to flow through you. And that's the difference. I think this is a huge, significant change in my life.
Stop chasing, start attracting. It sounds like something Louise Hay would say.
Yep, that's right.
You mentioned something about your star family. How long ago did you figure that out, that you were of the Pleiadian bloodline?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because that Crab Nebula is actually a supernova explosion that's remaining in the Taurus constellation, literally next to the Seven Sisters. That's where the Pleiadians are. It's around that time, like probably a year or two, like 2019, 2020 is when I remember and awaken. And also after that, I've met like probably 19 or 20 different star systems that they come in when I channel for other people, not necessarily just for myself. So when I channel for my clients, I've met other star beings and they do have a distinct vibration. To me, it's like the clairvoyance. When I see them, it's a ball of light and they're vibrating in different frequencies. So you can almost compare it to radio signals. You turn the dial. So that's how I can tell they're different. And when I just met a species that I do not know how to name them, I generally will I will ask, how should I call you? Do you have a name or do you have a symbol? Sometimes they show me symbols like sacred geometric shapes. So I remember them by that. But I will also do my research on the human realm after I've met them in the spiritual realm. And that's accumulated knowledge. So 2026, I've been doing it for 7-8 years now.
And it seems to be almost a foregone conclusion that we all are starseeds. You just described how in your sessions with clients, they typically meet star beings that they are tied to. Has this entire experience, especially what we're talking about now, has it given you any insight or even maybe by way of a direct message that we're going to be seeing them and talking to them a whole lot more in the very near future?
Yes, very soon. And in fact, we're already doing it. As you mentioned that if hundreds of people are pointing to the same thing, there must be some truth to it. I think they are actually very accessible now. So if any one of you who are listening, who have a regular meditation practice or regular spiritual practice where your brain is in theta, whenever we channelers or mediums, when we connect with the spirit realm, when we have direct experience with them, it's typically our brain wave is in theta. So as long as you do an activity that, in life that puts you in your creative flow, that you're kind of blanking out, or you are in that in between sleep or not really sleep state, that's when your theta brainwave. And the longer that brainwave that you can sustain during your daily awakening life, easier that you can connect with them. They can literally just come in and drop a message and you all of a sudden you just know. That's claircognizant. Depending on your psychic abilities, you might see, you might hear, you might know, okay, that they're communicating with us all the time. It's just if we are able to tune into that or not. So if we're so busy, we just occupied by our to-do list, we just go moving through the day, it's really hard for us to access that station to talk to them. But yes, they are very readily available. Sometimes I even talk to them, like people will say that, are you talking to air? And I would just say, I'm talking to my imaginary friend.
It's a good answer. I like that. Okay. Anything else we need to know about, at least for tonight?
Yeah, definitely. So if you are really want to live a life that's in flow, that's really in alignment with your purpose, I highly recommend you to take some time to connect with your soul. And that's where I begin my journey of true knowing. Remember, I was very much in the 3D matrix, studying all the way to my PhD so that I have this successful life the society is deemed of, so that I have a high-paying job, happiness and all that. But that's not the truth. The truth really revealed to me through my personal journey of self-inquiry. And of course, the oracular system gives you a tool to understand your soul's purpose. What are your gifts? What are your wounds and what are your lessons, so that you can choose consciously. And right now is literally the best time to do it, because of the collective energy. It's also my dream that one day, every soul, all of us, just living in our own path, and we are shining like a light bulb, growing, literally glowing the whole universe and Mother Earth. It will be a beautiful place.
A communion of light, right?
That's right. That's right. And we're not separated. Yeah,
Very good point. Separation is an illusion.
that's right.
Can't make this stuff up, can you? Helen, thanks for stopping by tonight. Really cool stuff. For those listening, how can our listeners find you online?
My website homepage, helencreatesbeauty.com. I also have a podcast live every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And my Instagram and all social handle is Helen Creates Beauty.
You've been listening to Closer to Venus. I'm Johnny Burke. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, please consider subscribing. In the meantime, you can find more info on closertovenus.com. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.